is a beautiful morning here at our farm. I got the sprayer out and I am going to be installing these easy drops. You may be wondering what easy drops are. They are to put nitrogen on corn through a sprayer, and it'll drop the nitrogen. They're drop nozzles that'll put the nitrogen right next to the row of corn. And I think there's a few different brands that will do this. But easy drops are kind of new on the scene, as I understand. But they are simple installation and very sturdy built, and we are excited to give them a try. We have some good yield potential on our corn and a chance of rain in the forecast. It's getting a little late to put in on corn. Sometimes you have to wait around here to know if your corn's gonna make good, but we have some rain in the forecast. Also, we've been catching up on spraying on double crop and wheat, so hopefully we can get all this going and side dress some corn, and it's going to be pretty tall, but we're going to just test these things out and give them a good run for their money and see how they work for us. So I've got my instructions here and my hardware out, and I watched the YouTube install video, and the wind's gonna blow all my stuff all over the place. I got started by finding my center and then measuring 30 inches out from the center, and then it'll be every 60 inches after that, because we just need a drop for every other row of corn because it splits out. So it'll be 20 drops on this 100 feet of boom, and so I got to install the brackets that the actual drop will go onto, and then those will just stay there, and it'll be really easy to install and uninstall after the hardware is on there.
So I finished chores and I came over here. Nathan already had most of these easy drop brackets already on.
Yep, so I've gotten some of them. You have these brackets to move it over where it needs to be, but then out here on the boom, everything pretty much lines up. You just count nozzle bodies, and so we're going to get everything snugged up and then get them on, and hopefully get some water in here and try it with water first, and then go put some in on corn.
Pretty repetitive once you get good at it. I mean, he was able to just go right down the line, and now he's going to go snug them up. I pretty much only helped with about 3 of the different building the frames. So
I got my tool belt out.
He did. He looked like a carpenter over here.
And my U-bolts in there.
Yep. Nathan's better at following instructions than the rest of our family.
Tight, so I'm trying to go nice and easy.
Okay. The rest of our family sometimes just goes after it. Nathan's always ready to read the instructions on something.
Well, I don't like to do things twice. Okay, we're getting the actual drops on now. It's just a couple bushings and it slides over there and then pins in. And then I'm gonna run some water in here and make sure these are all clean before hooking up the hose. Okay, we got them on. I folded the tips in and nothing broke. Everything's just out of the way. So we're gonna go get some water in it and make sure everything else works. Oop. Okay, folding them in. Everything's free and clear, it looks like. But people are gonna have to stay out of my way on the road. I'll stay out of their way. I'm nice on the road. I'll slow down for you. But if you stop a half mile ahead of me, I'm gonna come full steam until I get to you. Okay, so I started installing at about 7 a.m. this morning. I had them pretty well all on there, I think, by 10:30, 10 or 10:30. I had a little help from Evan and Kendall. And then I had to get some water in there and test them out. But by noon, I should be ready to go. And the next time, you know, with all this hardware already installed, it's just some pins to get all these put on, or to take them off to go back to spraying. So I thought that was pretty good. I felt like it was a pretty easy install. So I brought my sprayer over to my house to put the water in because the water pressure is way better in my house. And I'll say hi to the wifey while I'm here. And it's only 3/4 mile away, so they just hanging out. Hi, Ziva. What's up? I'm filming a vlog. I'm coming in for lunch. Got some food in my belly. Now we're gonna head over to Greg's, where my nitrogen should be waiting. I think they got it delivered. I ran into a hiccup. I was gonna attach them. You're not supposed to attach them to the one the drop lines up with. You're supposed to go to a neighbor. Well, my neighbors, this sprayer is set up on 10-inch spacing, but I just spray on 20-inch spacing because it's less nozzles. And anyways, so I attached it to the ones next door and found out a lot of these are plugged up with like atrazine residue, which is not great, and I probably need to get them all cleaned out kind of in the off season. But so I'm going to have to kind of rework it over to reach 20 inches away, which I don't have to do anything to the easy drops. They're actually set up for like a 20-inch sprayer, so you have plenty of hose, but I'm just gonna have to take one nozzle off of my 5-way nozzle bodies and put it on the neighbor, but I only have to switch 20 of them, so it's not the biggest deal. But
all right, so getting the hoses attached here.
Yeah, I've got them all on, and I ran some water to make sure everything was unclogged here, and then I'm gonna run water through the easy drops and make sure everything's working right before we go and put a bunch of nitrogen in there.
It's probably smart.
Okay, I'm testing them out in the forage sorghum. It's not as tall, so it looks like everything's centering up real nice. And you can see it goes down, and it's gonna put in right by the root. So this one's doing those 2 rows, and then you skip. This one's doing these 2 rows. And you can see it kind of already soaked in, but it was putting it right there. I'm gonna go a little farther and make sure that my pressure is up enough, and doing the gallons I think I'll do between 15 to 20 probably gallons per acre, which will be 50 to 70 pounds of 32%. There goes Greg to do the last of the double crop soybeans, and then we have some forages to do, but we can't let the sprayer get behind. So the idea is to keep the puck, this puck, about 12 to 18 inches off the ground, and then it'll just find the middle of the row. It'll find the middle of the row and do its job, and then on the end rows you lift up and it just pulls itself through the end rows. And they're built real sturdy with these springs, breakaway springs, and then all of this is like a hydraulic hose, so it's real sturdy. Okay, so it appears I'm gonna have to go about 8 miles an hour to keep my pressure where it needs to be to have even distribution. And of course, you can adjust the orifice size depending on what speed you want to go and what gallons. Most of the corn that we'll be putting in on is flat fields, because that's where we have the best soil and the best yield potential. So I should be able to go 8 miles per hour. Should be pretty nice to go. When I spray, sometimes I go 10 to 12 miles an hour. So going over terraces, it'd be a little harder because you have to try to keep them just right. But I think that'll be pretty doable. I think I'm ready to go try. You can see how, like, even if I get a little off center, this thing has a lot of room to move and just works its way right in the middle of that row. So we'll get that nitrogen right by the stalk, and then it'll still take a little rain, but even a small rain or a heavy dew, the corn will funnel that water to its stalk, and that'll help pull that in right into the ground. And once it's in the ground, then the roots can take it up. So if you put nitrogen up on the leaves, it actually burns the leaves, and it won't look too good, and it'll set the crop back a little. So that's why, like in the summer, I mean on crops growing, you can't just spread it on the top because it'll burn it, and it won't actually, it has to come through the roots. Go to work. All right, here goes. We'll see. Hopefully this corn's not too tall. Okay, I'm gonna get out and see what kind of job I'm doing. I don't have a high clearance sprayer, and I don't have like auto track that guides me in the rows, so I pretty much have to pay attention all the time and make sure I'm not running over corn, so it's hard to watch my booms, but looks like it's doing good. Look at that nitrogen right by the roots. It looks like they're all running right where they're supposed to be. This cord's not too tall yet. Who needs a high clearance sprayer? This corn still has a long ways to go if it rains, which is when it'll need the nitrogen. So, and we'll probably, the corn I'm doing it on, 2 of the fields will go to wheat, so that wheat will pick up the nitrogen if the corn doesn't use it, as long as it doesn't volatilize. And then this one, Greg's hoping to do a cover on, so "45 acres done on Greg's field." It appears that everything is still intact. Hopefully I know what I'm doing. It looks like everything's still running. This corn by the creek here got way too tall on me. But it's going through it, and I mean everything's holding up, it seems like. I'm more worried about my nozzle bodies than, I mean, any of this stuff. This is all pretty sturdy. I feel like an Iowa farmer.
Brad, why do you bring up pregnancy to open up this podcast? I talk about pregnancy for one reason only. I hope that you guys can absolutely see why I'm talking about this. It's because our YouTube channel is out, and we have a new video called First Pregnancy versus Second Pregnancy. Duh. On your feet! Come on! No! That's the only reason why we would bring up pregnancy. Of course.
Alright, we're on the next field, and we're gonna go again. Another nice thing about putting it on later, especially with corn, you kind of can have variable yields, variable fields. This one is more of an upland field, but we still wanted to plant corn for weed control. But I'm gonna put 50 pounds in on this field rather than, I put 70 on Greg's, because it's looking good and we're wanting to get a rain and make it worth it. But this field, my yield goal is more towards that 100 to 125 bushel an acre. So no need to put more than we need or expect. And in the future, I could load variable rate maps into this guy here, have Farmer's Edge draw me some up, and variable rate this stuff. This year I'm not doing that. I do have my options right there. I can switch it between 15 gallon and 20 gallon pretty quick, or I can type in something else if I want more. I ran out of fertilizer, so I had this next field. Mom's gonna give me a ride. Mom's gonna give me a ride back to the trailer so I can bring it over here. I asked her if she wanted to drive around and follow me, but she didn't, understandably, because it's gonna take a little time. All right, I got here with the trailer. Gotta get the sprayer pulled up close enough. Some of the new sprayers have a fill right on the front, and then it's plumbed back to the tank. I do not have that, but I do have my long hose and my boom crane, homemade. But I still have to get closer than this, and I kind of have to turn at an angle, but it totally works. This 80 is done. I'm gonna fill up again, and then Greg's gonna get a ride over here to bring the truck to me for the last fill, and then he'll take it back home. Okay, my GoPro died, and I haven't got it charging, but Greg brought me the semi, and look, he's getting it pumping for me, so I'm just gonna let him do all the work. There you go. How's it going? Good. I'll let you do all the work.
Oh, well, I figured you were doing all the work, so.
Yeah.
So this corn looks a little dry.
Yeah, it looks better in the lower area, but
Ran out of gas.
feel. I think I shut the valve off, so it might have just...
Oh, I always forget about the valve.
Yeah, I've been trying to do better shutting it off. Yeah, if you can't tell this, you probably can tell from the video that this corn looks a little dry. And part of me is like, maybe I shouldn't be putting in on it. But we have a chance of rain, and I don't know, corn always can struggle a little on the tough spots here in Kansas. But in the low area, it looks good, like Greg's whole field.
looks pretty good. So he must have caught some more rain, but he also has pretty good soil there. I thought this field caught some rain, and honestly,
I'm not sure it did. Looking around, it looks really dry.
Well, I didn't come look at it. I just thought, well, the corn needs more in than what we put on with the planter, so we're putting it on, and I just hope we don't, like, it doesn't rain at all, and then we drill wheat, and it's not even like it all volatilizes or something. But I don't think that'll happen.
Hopefully it'll rain between now and then.
Yeah, I think it'll be there for the wheat to pick up, even if the corn dies, but it'll suck if the corn dies too. Alright, I'm headed home. Well, actually, I'm gonna do a little one cornfield by my parents' place. So I'm not quite done, but I'm at least headed back. I'm being close to home. And overall, it was a successful afternoon. Dropping in on corn is definitely not easy and relaxing, because you gotta steer the whole time. You gotta think about it's best to lift up everything when you turn on the ends, and then try to decide where to do end rows or where to just turn around. And it's definitely you gotta be paying attention, but it's definitely a very good option to have here when we have variable corn yields from year to year, and kind of gives us some flexibility. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed riding along and seeing how the easy drops worked and getting them installed. I was pretty pleased with how simple everything went together and how they worked. It sure enough was just putting it right there next to the plant. So we're gonna keep working, keep looking for more videos. Remember to like and subscribe our channel, Peterson Family Farm, and always check out our other channel with the music videos and all those on Peterson Farm Bros. And keep watching, keep commenting, let us know what you're thinking. So it's been a while since I made a vlog with mostly just myself. I've mostly made appearances in other ones. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys around.